right, Nick, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this offseason was a big one for the Steelers. Obviously, you look at the offensive side of the ball, tons of moves there as well. But on defense, I think everything was going really well for the Steelers. I think they had a good draft. I think they got some key pieces in place as well. They've got some young guys coming up through the ranks who are looking like could be potential breakout stars. And then the suspension of Cam Sutton hits, and everyone says, okay, what are the Steelers going to do? And there's a few options out there. They could either pick up a free agent guy to come fill the hole that Cam Sutton suspension is going to take away from this team, or they could potentially have already gotten a guy on this roster that they trust enough and are confident enough is going to be a heck of a player. And I think number 2 is the option that the Steelers have gone with. Let's get into the article and we can talk more about this on the other side. This, of course, is from Steelers Depot. It says, the news of 8-game suspension for veteran quarterback Cam Sutton came swiftly and harshly Monday for the Pittsburgh Steelers, causing them to lose a potential key piece of their secondary for the first 8 weeks of the season. Immediately, the discussion shifted towards a potential reunion with veteran cornerback Patrick Peterson or Chandon Sullivan, as the Steelers once again have a glaring need in the slot. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Brian Bachto, during an appearance on the Joe Show on 93.7 The Fan Tuesday with host Paul Zeiss, said he wouldn't bet on a reunion with one of these guys happening in light of the suspension. Instead, Bachto sees the Steelers giving young guys like rookie undrafted free agent Beanie Bishop or even a free agent signing like Grayland Arnold a shot in the slot, not to mention the likes of veteran Josiah Scott as well. But I think the key here is I think that first name, Beanie Bishop, is the name that sticks out to me. We've talked about him a couple times this offseason. I think this is what the Steelers are potentially getting at here. I'm curious what your thoughts on this one are, Nick. But before we get to you, Steelers fans, in the comment section below, talking cornerback, talking about who's potentially the best Steelers cornerback of all time. There's a lot of great answers there, but let us know in the comment section below, who's your favorite Steelers cornerback of all time. And while you're down there, check the description below the video. If you're looking for something great to read this summer to hold you over until the NFL gets back, we've got a list of great books in the comment section below. Whether you want to read about some legendary coaches, the 100-year history of the NFL, a book breaking down the game to its core, or something maybe goes through the ins and outs of the league, we've got all those options in there in the description below the video, so check those out. But Nick, what are your thoughts on the potential of maybe Beanie Bishop stepping up?
Well, look, we like you mentioned, we talked about Bishop a lot this offseason, him being very impressive, obviously considering what happened with him. The furthest thing from an early draft pick, right? Done a really good job through rookie mini camps, OTAs, all the regular mini camps, getting ready for training camp. He seems to be on a good track to not only make the team, but have a positive impact as well. And the fact that the Steelers this entire time, right? They knew the situation. They knew the legal deal. They knew there was likely going to be a suspension. It was pretty much all but guaranteed. It was just going to be how long? Was it going to be a season, 2 games, 6 games, 8 games, right? Everyone knew some kind of suspension was coming, and the Steelers, obviously not being dumb, knew it was coming as well. So what does that mean that they didn't go out there preemptively and add a veteran? It means they trusted the young guy. Specifically, they trusted Beanie Bishop. They got him ready for this opportunity because of what they saw in those rookie mini camps, in those OTAs. They look at a guy like Bishop and they say, listen, he's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of talent. He has a chance to be a significant upgrade over veterans potentially in the secondary at a much cheaper price. I think this is an indication that the Steelers front office and coaching staff is really high on Beanie Bishop, because obviously if they weren't, they would be going out there trying to find a veteran, trying to add another guy to help replace as they figure out how they're going to go through this situation, this 8-game suspension. But here's the other factor that I think is really important to understand. This entire offseason, Omar Khan has shed the label of a guy who's not going to make big moves if he needs to see fit, right? Obviously, quarterback position, move off of Kenny Pickett, take not one but 2 bites of the apple with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. So we know Omar Khan this offseason was more than willing to pull the trigger if he thought it would help the Steelers football team. The fact that he hasn't to address the slot cornerback position means that he definitely believes that Bishop has a lot of talent and at least should get an opportunity to compete for that spot and likely believes that he's going to win it in the end. I think this is probably the best indication yet that the Steelers got themselves an unbelievable young steal in Beanie Bishop.
Yeah, Nick. And this is a guy who last season, well, first of all, this is a guy who isn't your typical rookie. This guy has been playing college football for 6 years. 2018 is he was a freshman. Then all the weird COVID years happened, all of that stuff. This guy has been playing for quite a long time. And in his last 2 years is really when he made his breakout. That's when he became a household name. People started to look at him coming to the draft. And last season in particular, this is a guy who played over 800 snaps. He has a world of experience behind him. And like I said, this is not your regular rookie. This is not your run of the mill guy who walked off the street, maybe played a red shirt and then 2 regular years, comes into the league. This is a guy who's been around the block. This guy has a lot of football knowledge under his belt. I think he maybe just needs an offseason to get used to that NFL speed. And then boom, he's in the game. So I would feel comfortable with Beanie Bishop as well, just purely based on the plethora of experience that he already has in the game of football at the college level. Just boost it up a little bit through mini camp, training camp, see, get him, a couple reps here and there with some really top tier receivers who the Steelers have a couple of those guys. You put him on George Pickens a few times, I think he's going to figure out what an NFL receiver is all about. So I, like the Steelers, am very excited by Beanie Bishop, and I think he's going to bring a lot to the table, and like you said, potentially be an upgrade over what they're going to lose in a guy like Cam Tuck.